Alright, so I've been searching for a way to get this off, and if you're in the same predicament, I'm sure you're not figuring it out either. And so I kind of got two of them. I'm doing a motor swap, so I kind of had a trial and error on the first one. It seemed to work, so I'm going to show you guys what I did here. We don't have a tensioner. There's no way to get this dang belt off. I've tried prying it, and it's just not working. So what I did is I started by loosening these bolts. Don't pull them all the way out. That way we're not putting too much tension on those top two that you can't get to because of that pulley. Just kind of loosen it up a bit here. Maybe we'll pull out every other one. Just to get ahead on the next step a little bit. And then a pulley puller will sit on there. And it'll just miss that belt. So you gotta kinda make sure you're not actually putting the tension directly on the belt. Make sure you're nice and square on there. But what you'll notice, it'll start kinda putting uneven pressure on this pulley as it's coming off. So if you just kind of tighten it up, put some tension there, and then even out that tension with the mallet, not using too much pressure anywhere at one time, and just kind of slowly work that back. I was able to pull this pulley with the belt on it while keeping the pulley true and without stretching out the belt. Now if you're working on it while it's still in the vehicle, obviously you just got to pull that air intake, but there is room to do it in there. And now it's coming right back. I mean, I'm barely using any pressure. So that's how you get that belt off without damaging anything. And then to get into here, we can finally access these. I was trying to get on it with a ratchet wrench and it wouldn't work, so there's a chance I may have to use the old vice grips on these two here. No, I'm still able to get them. So just go ahead and pull your screws. I've already loosened up this this last hose. You can't really get it off with it connected to the water pump, so I've already broke it free, but I just moved the clamp back, and then I found it easiest to work where there's less pressure towards that outside. So I work my screwdriver down in here, and then I just slowly work it around. That way we're not damaging the hose at all. But we should have enough just to pop it out, and then there it is. Here's one of the stupid designs. It's just like a piece of plastic is the seal here. So on my way back in, we'll be putting a little bit of this gasket maker. I don't usually use this stuff, but I don't really trust these plastic gaskets they got. So anyway, I will see you in a second, and we'll go ahead and show you how to put that pulley back on. Okay, so I use silicone here. I just wasn't really sure about the plastic gaskets. The other motor, the water pump was a little tighter. I mean, this should spin free, and it shouldn't really spin once you stop. Like, it should be pretty tight. Hang tight 1 second. And then, oh, never mind, I got that one installed. Just to make sure this is gonna work. Okay, so what I did here was, obviously if you're using silicone, let it sit up for 24 hours, then go ahead and torque down those bolts to spec. What I did was I took this and then put my belt back on, and then just kind of put a little bit of pressure there, not much, just using hands. And then get yourself a bolt. In here is threaded. I believe this is a 10 millimeter by 1.5, I'm guessing. I just found it here in the garage. Now they do have, you can go down to O'Reilly or AutoZone, whatever, that way, and they actually have a pulley installer that'll thread in there, and then it's got a nut you drive down on there. You know, if you're not really familiar with this stuff, you probably want to go that route. But I play with stuff. I'm not a professional. Anyway, so just lightly tighten that, and as soon as it gets kind of tense, I'm just lightly tapping around. And then I'm going to come back and just lightly add pressure. You don't want to bend this pulley. It's just my left hand tapping and a couple fingers on this ratchet is all. Just kind of working it around. Once this gets to a certain point, those threads are going to bottom out, and then we'll have to add a washer. That's one of the reasons why we don't want to add too much pressure on this ratchet, so we don't want to strip those threads, in case we have to ever come back and mess with this water pump again. There we go, now it's on, going pretty square, because it's just tightening right up there. That's a left hand. Okay, that kind of bottomed out right there. It's getting a little tense, so I'm just gonna back that out. I've just got a bunch of stuff stacked on here as a spacer. It's nothing pretty, but it works. And then it's going to come to a stop. And one of the things that'll let you know when you're touching down there is right here on this timing chain. If you watch, I'm moving the whole cam. So we're going to back that out of there. And then when we went to pull this, right here was slightly recessed. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna, not tapping on the outside, now we're tapping on the inside towards this funnel. And then looking down the belt and the pulley, I'm just going to kind of keep going around until it looks nice and square. And there you have it. That's how to do that stupid thing.